Colo in our Visiting Arts Lecture Series tonight. Mr. Papo Colo is co-founder of Exidar, which was a internationally known cultural center in New York City. Exidar was a non-profit cultural center established in 1982 and closed in 2012. It used to be located in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, New York City. The two-story gallery exhibits contemporary visual art, installation, video, theater, and performance. He was the curator and cultural producer of Exidart and has organized over 100 shows, in which he was also the exhibition and graphic designer. He has won numerous awards, including the New York Times Best Inaugural Show by an alternative art space for his exhibition Exit Biennial Reconstruction. Additionally, Reactions, an international response to 9/11 conceived by Papo Colo, was acquired by the Library of Congress for its permanent collection. Papo Colo is also an interdisciplinary artist whose work ranges from performance, theater, and installation art to painting, writing, and graphic design. In 1992, he founded the Trickster Theater. In 2005, he wrote the directed and play, a theater piece he created solely for the web. Papo Colo conceptualized Dizzy Theater, a collection of dramatic vignettes that utilize YouTube as a portal for theoretical presentation. So please welcome Papo Colo.
Okay, so you are in a very difficult space of doing art and surviving, or at least not surviving, progress, grow. And the thing that the chemical that you have to produce is this ambivalence between commerce and you creating your own stuff. I don't know if some of you have the illusion or the tendency to become an empresarios, put in a space. In my experiences of all these years, you have 3 ways to go. I tell someone that. You become a teacher after this. You become an empresario and put a little space here in Brooklyn, on your hometown, in Canada, wherever, and show other artists. And or you become a social animal, in a way, a party, dinners, knowing people, the net, doing the net. Or you can be the 3 of them. But in my opinion, the situation of the art world is that have become overpopulated. And that is good and that is bad. In the sense of even myself, that I go to galleries and I go to this and I go to that, I don't have all the information that was going on in the city. Is because there are so much information about what we're doing, artists. So you have this like overload of artists trying to go to galleries, or to this. And so that is a problem that you are graduating, most of you are graduating now, so you are in the verge of discovering and surviving that wave of things that happen around you. I just want to introduce that because I know, or I try to place myself in your position. Okay, I'm going to graduate now, what I'm going to do now, etc. I just don't want. And I show you a little bit how I have that problem 30 years ago. And I show you how I resolve it. Basically, this is Exidar. So 30 years ago, I am minority, what they call minority, Puerto Rican. I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm not Jewish, I'm not Latin American because I'm not. So what am I going to do? So basically, I met this wonderful woman and I was 30 years with her, and I did exit art with her. And she was my vehicle, my bridge to go into the art world. She was an art historian, and her master's degree was about art and law. And my first piece that I did ever, I falsificated all the diplomas of the University of Puerto Rico. And did as a piece of art, but I get a job and I get a master's degree, everything with a full diploma. And we figured out that a lot of artists do illegality to commit their art. You know? And we did, it's our first show. Most of the artists were arrested or put into the camp for a couple of days for their subversive ideas. And it was an amazing show. And we get, our first show, we get reviewed in the New York Times and everybody because there was not a document. And I did a beautiful catalog in which the catalog is sealed with a dollar bill, and then you had to break the dollar to open the catalog. So you had to commit an illegality, which is a felony to break one in this country, to see the information of the catalog. So we make you participant of our illegalities. And from now on, we did a specific show with a specific purposes. And like he talked about installation, painting, this and that, but always the medium is the medium. That's why it's the medium. But you have to say something with the medium. Why, in every exhibition, why I do this exhibition? And you have to write, forget it. A curator that don't curate and don't write, they're just putting their friends on the show. And everything that we do have this kind of purpose behind it. It's about, here's the art, but here's the life that gives that art. It's like here. Most of these pieces are part of their life because they are not doing, they're doing it for something else. So this is, and what become, the lawyers go crazy for this. The catalog now is $1,500, this catalog, because all the lawyers want it, because it's the only official document like this. But anyway, go to the next one. I don't want to talk about legality. The next slide, yeah. You as artists, this was the octopus that we are going to redo this 25 years after, and always each artist have a page, and was a gigantic page, 8x4 plywood, painted in black with hinges, and each poet artist, there were 25 artists and 25 poets, and each artist have one side of the book, and at the end was a collective sculpture, the book, but also was a literary and visual thing. And most of the pieces worth a lot of money right now, especially this is Vito Aconchi when we were young. And we do this in Museo del Barrio, and I want to do it that way because it was a program called Art Across the Park. And this is in front of Fifth Avenue. It's a beautiful spot. People get married and everything there. And Fifth Avenue and 105, they have like an amazing garden. What I noticed is something very strange. You are mostly young people. You live in the most exciting city in the world, and you don't know the city. You have to know your territory. Sometimes I go to there in front of the park just to see the gardening of this thing. It's like amazing, right in the middle of the city. And this is what the secret of this. You have to enjoy your life to give joy to others. You have to enjoy your environment to understand where you are. And this is so important. This is not a career, papi. You are not an accountant. You are not a lawyer. This is a fucking obsession. Only into madness, into the point of madness. And then you say, oh, I'm getting too crazy. Then you, eh? But this happened like this. Anyway, next one. Yeah, and then what I did is that we have food and beer and everything, and it was summer, and no one wanted to finish their piece because everyone wanted to hang around every afternoon there, and the park and beer and art and artist fellows and poets. Whew. We were 1 month doing this piece. These are other ones. These are la sexualité. We always, there is something in art, and I discussed this with Janet, my wife, that is inherent in art, and it's the sensualité, la sensualidad. That is not sex, it's not porno, it's that you want to, you're always showing your skin. It's a portrait, it's an object that you do, you're doing a skin in a canvas. And they have kind of sensuality, tactile sensuality and visual sensuality. So you have to deal with that element. Even if you have it repressed, you do that, repress it, but you do it, you're building a skin. So anyway, so this is one, and we have them, we have fun on this because we hire some bodybuilders, and they were in the opening, like this, and serving you, and the whole thing. We do performance a lot, and we have fun on it. The whole thing about this is, do this for fun. Is anguish enough, is angst enough, and you're going to put more angst into it, then you won't survive, will destroy you. I've seen this in artists, completely destroy it. Because you have to balance your anxieties, and you think with something, there is something else. Otherwise, first you become all suddenly. I've seen this, I'm not telling you, what happened to this guy? Because they take this angst, and the body becomes, This is very important. I think talking like that, I think it's true, because I've seen it. Anyway, there's about painting and sexuality and fun and the... Dale el otro, muchacho. We are in the beginning. Panel discussion, the whole thing. But, Inagay was kind of... Remember, this is 1982. This was like much different city. Like we put this, and this was Jeanette, and the union of the building, because it wasn't a union building, came and complained because they were too many naked pictures on the. So this was like another era. Anyway, this is my friend Tashin Saya. She's Chinese. She's from Taiwan. He just recently, 2 years ago, have a show on MoMA, and he do these performances. Going outside. He lived outside without a shelter for a year. This was this piece. He lived in a cage for a year. He don't talk to anybody. I mean, really 1 year performance pieces. So that's why some people come, I want to do performance for 3 days. Oh, 3 days. This guy will do 5 performances for 1 year each. The first one, this thing that you mark, you're a watchman, you have to mark, you punch this thing every hour on the hour for a year. That means you don't sleep more than 60 minutes. And the next one, he did a cage in his space, and he told me it was the most difficult part. He don't talk to anybody, he don't listen to the radio, TV, just the stage of read, and him and a friend who was assisting him. And we saw him every 2 months, we check him out, the group that, and for a year. And then he go out and live outside for a year. So, he get this thing really radical. And when I met him, he just wrote me a letter, said, Colo, you're Mr. Colo, and I'm from Taiwan, and I jump fish, I jump ship, because he was a merchant marine, and he's in Philadelphia. And what you can do for me. But anyway, that's the story. But this kind of documentation, performance pieces, we did a lot. we did until the end. We close. Go ahead. There's a lot of things missing. But to say before. In the meanwhile, what we did, 84 is not that. Yeah, 84. We did a lot of things on. This is very good. This is interesting. Was very interesting. Very interesting people, because to follow the illegal America, we show films that were forbidden, but by court. Films that were really, forbidden, and we do this mini festival of films that, and was really, really, and the New York Public Library, which is a good venue. And this is our first film intervention that we did. Go ahead. We have a lot of. I want to. These paintings for different, painting, and we do catalogs and we do these things. And this is another one. This is Miralda, Catalan. Go no, the other way, 85. In the meanwhile, yeah, is this 85? That's not 85. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we do this sculpture. Go ahead. We began doing exhibition of artists that were under-recognized. Mostly like people like David Hammond, now they are known, Jimmy Duran, all these guys we show them. This was a little gallery that we have in the space about. Go ahead. Oh, this is fun. This was our first. It was 12 years performance piece of the Oracle, and we invite like 20 artists. Yeah, this is doing something on MoMA now, Yasuo Tone, and the Japanese, and. What we do, instead of, let's have 12 performance artists doing 12 performances. No. The performance is about the oracle. The notion of the oracle, the Greek oracle, this is the notion. And you stick to the. So that way we have a cohesive night, an ordered way, because performance you have to put order, otherwise go out of control. So the way to control this is to put the subject matter. I did that, we did that with a lot of exhibition, and become a really readable collective exhibition. Has a thread to tie up the exhibition. Otherwise, it's an abstract shows of young artists. That don't mean anything. That don't mean absolutely anything. Anyway, I go out to later. Go ahead. These are, go ahead, Arling Wan. All these guys were all, some of them become really known, some of them don't, like everything. Jerry Kearns, and we did, yeah. You know where Uniqlo is? In Broadway and Prince Street? And we Soho were there. We were there before. We were there 20 years before going to what's the name, to these are individuals. Go ahead. I mean, this place is the Marlboro, man. I wish I'd buy one painting of this guy. He's making money. Well, 96, 86, it's not 86. Yeah, I see. Yeah, we go ahead. He's Charmot, he died. This guy is good. Media hostage, yeah, they are into media. This is the beginning of the media. You might know Brenda Montadas, which are very known. Montadas now is in the MIT. She's a professor in MIT, and they create these things. I go back to my first video camera was black and white and weighs like 50 pounds, so I know all the artists in the video. This was a show that was very simpatico, because what we did is to invite the gallery owners to present one artist of their gallery or not, and then to put it in the context of our gallery, and I do the installation. So we have like 10 gallery people, like this is Anita Nosei, the gallery, and we have Mary Boone, artists, curators. You see, Baron Alexander, Rosa S., Ronald Feldman, Barbara Glaston, all these are all gallery guys. and they choose one artist, and then we do a group show with this. You see, there is a concept. We don't just show an artist. The artist has to be in a context. If you are a crooner, you have to be in a show, in a context. If you are a, and then I did a little video of how they live. This is in MoMA, this one, of the show. And this was created by Lucy Lepard, which is a good friend, a great seminal critic, an iconic critic of the city of New York, and show that you don't have that history, which I think in the level of master degree is an absurd that you don't know all this history of the city and who was the critic, who was the important one or not. That's my little criticism about this. So I do these are invitation, because before the web you had to have invitation, yeah. And for me, it's like now, you receive something in the web, and if the invitation is not attractive, you don't go. I don't go. So my specialty at that time was really made three-dimensional thing very attractive, and people collected, and the whole thing, the whole collection is in MoMA right now. You see, like this was a mask, and then you put, and you come, and that's this, and this was on, and I did pieces. This was on university, yeah, something in California. I don't want to talk about my work anyway. Go ahead. 87, yeah. Yeah, you see this is the poster. And then we go into the Russian guy, because, and that was another story with the Russian exhibition that you see. Juan Sanchez, which is a good graphic designer and underrated, still underrated. He's a teacher now on you see, we were all these odd cases of under-recognized, this is my stuff. And of course, we did a beautiful, this was very beautiful, very emotional. This was, the opening was at MoMA, because this was, I'm from Puerto Rico, and this was a film that they did in the 30s and 40s with the WAP Roosevelt program. Anyway, and it was very beautiful because they did film with a purpose. They went to a small town and they filmed how they build a bridge, for example, one of the movies. And then get to the next town and show the films how they did this bridge. So the other kind of the other town know how they build the bridge. But with actors, not actors, or people who are not actors, you know. So it was very beautiful. And the guy from MoMA was taken by the whole thing. And this is the way to put my context, and I saw these films done. So the way to put my context and myself in an historical situation of film. And I saw the opportunity as an impresario to, so for me, I did this piece. I put the cinema that was done in the place that I was born, I put it in MoMA. Done. And this is how you not manipulate, how you work by being an impresario and being an artist. Because you have to see curation and impresarium as an art form. Otherwise, you know, otherwise you are putting your friend in a show and you're thinking that you are a curator. You become a curator. I discovered that I become a curator when I show people that I even don't know of them. I don't know them personally, nothing. I just see the work and fall in love with the work. I don't know this guy, I don't know this person, I don't know who you are, what you are, and then you become a curator. And then you write why you put that painting or that piece on the show. And then we start talking about being a curator. Anyway, this was really great. This guy's very known. It's called Mel Gordon. He's an incredible professor. He reconstructs Russian theater of the beginning of the century. He has good books out. You can check it out. He's a character also. So we recreate Forever, celebrate the constructed cabaret, and we become But these people can really dance and sing. This is not performance art. I'm sorry. These guys really know the thing and the tempo and the rehearsal. And so it was very successful, this one. It was very good piece. Go ahead, more painters on the recognized. I don't know where they put this here. Joshua. Yeah. I just want to do the group show. Oh, yeah, we present another Chilean filmmaker that he just recently died. This was the beginning of Exitar. This is Spain. Go ahead. Yeah, the Spanish and sculpture. She's very known. Ursula von Riensberg. She's known in the art world. All these people mostly are with galleries. It's with Lelon. And this was so funny. This was the last and the first and the last festival of Super 8. You know, Super 8 is just a dying. It's die. There is an application that you can get on the iPhone, and you can film like Super 8. I would recommend highly to go to see this movie, Looking for Sugar Man. Part of this was filmed, he just won the Oscar, the guy. It's one of the most incredible documentary that you can ever see, guarantee, okay? I almost cried. The Dead. Ooh, The Dead. You see, this is a typical example of what I'm talking. I did a show of the Dead because all the countries are in debt with themselves. So they come with a lot of things, and so, but you have a group show, you have how many? 10 different, 20 different artists, Alfredo Yar, all these people are mainly known, Vito Acconci, but then you put in the context of the Dead and say, wow, it's a nice show, I can read it. If I go to a picture of Acconci, no, my head is confused. You have to assimilate too many scenes in order to make sense of the show. But in here, you know that you have a little road that you can navigate in this road and see the show how it should be seen, my opinion. Anyway, Anton, he still lives in the Lower East Side. He's amazing. As he died, he's going to be famous, this guy. Martin Wan, coño. A friend of mine. He died, the 8th revolution, the 8th things. He was character. He was something else. All these guys, Jimmy Duran, this is Jimmy Duran, Sonia Barazan, and we still are in that epoch. She's with Lelon now, this one. And then, oh, yeah. Okay, this group shows this Japanese guy, very talented, very good. He disappeared. This is David Hammond. The Juan Sanchez, go ahead. And this is where we were first. This was Christoph Wojcicko. Maybe you know his work. It's amazing how little people know about the recent history of the city. Anyway, this is Jimmy Duran. You know, this kind of character you're going to He's American Indian. This was the Green Show. These are the other characters. These are the Russian show. And we did this show before, show the Russian. So this is a very nice story because we did this show before Perestroika, and the curator had to take illegally all the pieces because it was illegal to get out pieces from Russia. And we know a lot of, and it's green because all the buildings in Russia are in this color, all the public buildings, and all the artists subconsciously or consciously were painting these green paintings. The catalog is very nice, you have to open it. You see, it's very important. You see how nice, sometimes it's nice the web, but it's like the book. You know that the problem of reading in the computer, let me see. Okay, this was a great, one of my favorite programs. This is the work of Samuel Beckett, which is one favorite theater guys. and we did the program that they did it in Germany on the 60s, late 60s. No, never seen in this country because this guy is really a mystery. And 1 week before we opened the program, the guy died. And we have like tons of people. There are Beckett societies, and the guy is big. The guy is, for me, the father of performance art. You can check him out. The guy is like right there, and he identified with him because he had to write in French, and he's English, he's Irish. So he loved Paris like me. You had to learn English. So this duality of language, this duality of scenes, for a lot of you guys, is very good. It's very good. Yeah, and anyway, and we did, yeah. Oh, this is illegal. We repeat this because the problem with the national endowments and all of that, we repeat we sometimes repeat the show. I was seeing a person this is a person who take like garbage, small, these are small, and put it together like a sculpture. I was seeing a person like this. Right. It's Cecilia. And this is, I'm very tied to Chile in many ways. And I tried, the country I most know, I tried to do at the time. I love all countries, but if I have the ability or opportunity, I can show them. And this was the Chilean, which this was Reno. Oh my God! No, they are Reno artists. This is Elizabeth Streb. She's a very famous dancer, and the gang. All right, Roche, French. She's in France now. And this American Indian. I got Heap of Birds. All these guys that are really great artists, and at this time in the 80s was not like now. We were really marginate. I did the first catalog of David, and David was 41 years old, 42. We were 42, 43. That was 20 years ago. So, this is Adrian Piper, who lives in Germany now. It was. Oh, this was very, very. Do you ever had to read about the situationists on Paris in the 60s? It's very, very. And so, this guy, Keith Sanborn, this guy don't want to show the film. He just died about 4 years ago. He never want to show the films again. His film is that kind of anarchist, and he get it. And we showed in Exeter, and we have to expand for a week because it was so packed. Because these films are very famous, but no one has seen it because he don't want to show it more. And everybody in the New York community want to see the show. It was a very good program, very sexy also. And this is David Wanorovich. I don't know if you know his work. And he was one of the first gay activists in the 80s. He died of AIDS. And good friend. Mira. This happened. It was the bar that I have in Exeter. The second bar. We had 2 bars. This is the second bar. Tell you, you don't do this, it's not fun, okay? Yeah, this is my bar. This was the place. We do fashion shows, so we do everything. What the hell? This is my, these are the other artists. These are 80s, no? 91? Yeah, Nancy. Well, we go to a place that I think that most New Yorkers and most these people in this country are, which is the hybrid state. Show me the hybrid state again, please. We are in a hybrid state because most of us live between 2 cultures, between 2 races, between many religions, and we are all influenced by it. And that's the beauty of it. To be influenced by other cultures, you create your own hybrid culture. That's my personal theater. This is my experience of myself. But anyway, this show don't have copyright. This show don't exist. In a way that, like here, I have 20 artists, and I ask them permission to do a piece that resemble or look like your piece. You don't have to do anything. Just give me the permission. And they give me the permission, all these guys, and I did pieces that they look like they're their pieces. And then I do this group show, and I put them together. And they were delighted. The best critic was me for the same artist that gave me the permission. So these shows have how many, 20, 30 objects, and don't exist because it's not about the artist. It's not of the artist. It's about the curator. It's not the curator. So it's a hybrid. They don't exist. That's why, for me, was the high point of being a curator. Curate a show that don't exist. That exists only with the permission of the artist, and have images. Anyway, that was. Yeah, that we moved 92. We moved 92. No, that's 80, still 80. What is 80s? 80s. Willie Birch, she lives in New Orleans now. Oh, she did a prostitution house in the space. Illegal, and you had to call, and everything. And then you had this girl. Wow, I tell you. And this is Fever. It was a very famous show. We have people like, what happened?
That was it.
No, they leave it like that. Who was there? Let me see. Yeah, Robin Kahn. This guy is very known now, Ricky Tomaselli. You have a good crop here. Good crop. Yeah. Judy Fox, she's an incredible realist sculpture. Amazing, amazing. But this is bronze. This is amazing stuff. Anyway, it was one of the big shows, and we have a lot of, because they were the young artists of the 90s. And then in the 90s, we started doing like young people shows. This was what? This is a very important feminist show, maybe the first feminist shows, and I titled 1920. I bet you don't know why. It's very simple. 1920 was when this country gives the right to vote to women. It was that bad. It was that bad. Anyway, but these are my feminist girls, Laurie Anderson, of course. I saw her the other day, man. Oh, Cindy, everybody. Anna, well, Anna was dead then. But anyway, this was the group of the fierce pussy, very good girls, and the guerrilla girls are there. You said, all there was, yeah. I grew up in a feminist anyway. Because my first teacher was Lucy Lepard, so she was a very. With them, that's Eros, Brown Eros, and the sensuality again. Was like a dungeon, and this was a very good show of exhibition invitations. Very comprehensive show, 32 years of invitations. Sheila, she's Canadian, she's excellent. And this was, this was, it's not so much fun now because of the economic situation, but the mid-market was really a transvestite prostitute state. I mean, you can see in the corner and you see this girl, but he's a man, he's fishing the clients, for real. And there was a place called Antrasan, no, La Maison, a French guy, and they have this transvestite club, and then you go at 3, 2 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's, is in the ambient. Transvestite was really decadent, was really interesting, and this photograph are for this kind of guys. Men, traditional. Comic power. This was, and I was so happy with this show. This was a history of comic. From the work of Crumb, it's very famous. Crumb. These are how you put the context of comics into contemporary art. And was the most amazing exhibition because it's the first exhibition that I see 3 generations. I seen the grandpa, the father, and the son or the daughter. Saying, Pepe, you have this coming. It was really beautiful. Really, you see a community between generations and a community about collecting scenes and images. That was amazing. So it's a lot of great people here. Art Spiegelman, all these things are part of the New York history. Poverty Pop, yeah, and then I did this show that had to be with, when artists are poor, how they manage to do art. Cardboard boxes, you doing the scene, how artists produce when they are poor. That's why it's called Poverty Pop. Oh, this was one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. Before. So this was Let the Artist Live. And Let the Artist Live, we invite 15 artists, 10 of the United States and 5 internationally, to live and work with us for 45 days. For 45 days, we don't close the gallery. We make up a kitchen, and we talk with the gym in front of the gallery to have the artists take a shower or sauna. So the big fight between the 15 artists was the most unusual, but it makes sense, was bedtime. Some artists go at 3 o'clock in the morning making noise, I want the best artist, and the guy who's sleeping at 9 o'clock in the morning get pissed off and say, I am sleeping, I'm trying to sleep. That was the fight of every day. But it was part of the fun also, So it's been a prize a big prize on the, that was a very serious artist. I mean, serious in a way, yeah. So this is the Garden's Cultural Delights. Again, it's the trick of how you put, how many? 5, 7 sculptures together to make sense. We're going to create a garden based on the Garden of Delight, the famous painting. So all the artists love it to be in that context instead of just to be in a show of sculpture. I'm in a garden. So the artists are more willing to work and put their energy and put the psyche and put the spirit into it, so the shows become better. That simple element become better because have another purpose. And it's another purpose for the artist also. So this is very, very nice also. What happened with this spirit? This is like a spirit, amazing, no? It's not there. Wow.
What did you just say? It's who? Spirit.
Yeah, this is Jeanette, me, Richard, Robert Storr from MoMA, and this guy from Guggenheim. She's the head of Guggenheim now. And this is Thelma Gordon from the Studio Museum. And what I did is I made a game called It's How You Play the Game. And the exhibition become empty. No, the exhibition become with 3 pieces. We put 3 pieces for our collection, Janet and me, on the floor. It was 11,000 square feet. So this guy saw what we put and respond. I want this artist, and respond, and the next day the 3 pieces were there. And then they said, but if you put this, I'm going to put this artist. And they become combining and recombining. And Roberta said very well. Roberta Smith from the New York Times is addictive because every time you come back, every week you come back to see the changes of the exhibition. That's an exhibition. Have a purpose, have a collectivity. Is when the collective multiplies itself within itself with the ideas. So for the artist it's good because every new piece the people were going to put attention to it in relating to the other one. For everybody, it's just a win-win situation, and this is the kind of exhibition that I did. No more. I'm retired. Anyway, this is my last. talk like this, I hope so. Because I'm going to new horizons and new performative things. Oh, what's that? Oh, endurance. Ooh, I did that in 1977, my God. We do an exhibition called Endurance about physical and mental endurance. Wait. No. These are the guys. You see, we saw Marina early on. And the group is very important. If you want to do performance, it's very important to know the work of these people. Mostly are historical people, like Chris Burton, and mostly are. And this is, if I were giving a performance class in the school and training of a performance, I will go each of them explaining what they did, but I don't know about the education. Anyway, it's my part of the education. That's why I falsificated diplomas of the university, and I was right. Because, you don't become an artist by being in college. Now you are going to become an artist. That's my opinion. Curator. Oh, wait, cool. That was young. I was so crazy. These are young guys at the time. They are no more young, of course. And the story here is that they make it a volleyball team, right? And they're young and they're cuckoo, and I love it. But they want to be naked. And then one of them, my board, once they say, what do you think? Yeah. And it was very, very funny. We did really fantastic things. Why I'm here all the time? Oh, shit. Anyway, this was on intelligence. What's this? I remember. Oh, this was based on imaginary beings. Another show like this, it's like they are not in a group show. They are in this imaginary, based on the book of Imaginary Being of Borges, which is a great book when he's playing that every community in the world had to build this monster, these imaginary beings, to hold their mythology. It's very interesting book. It's very beautiful also. So we did an exhibition based on that, and we did a performance based on that, in which it's the first time, I think, in New York you go streaming, because we have a hacker friend, the early hacker, and he showed all the tricks of the computer. And what's the first in a way? What's this? Oh, this was another, Louis Bourgeois, inspiration, imaginary being, this is imaginary being, night walks, I want to go fast because I don't want to keep in a road, Roger. Pretending, yes, 96, no? What you were before? Oh, this is let the artist leave. This is amazing. She's Germany, and at night she leaves all her dress and become her bed. Not amazing? She was there all day. And we did, this show was important also. I do the installation. Mostly a lot of we love to do a lot of historical show in that way, because museum was not doing them. And no museum are doing this. The job of the real alternative on the 80s and 90s, museums are doing it. And if you have a nice explanation. The other day, the woman from the Jewish Museum, Gold, she was a director of the Artist Space in the 90s, and now she's directing a museum. So, that's why we did this show, because no museum were doing this kind of shows then. Their performance is in NYU now. Ooh, yeah, The Shape of Sound. That was another show, exhibition also. Again, the same premise. We did an exhibition and we asked artists to bring us the installation, how you think that you can hear music and sound. And people come with furniture, with this, with, how you would have this purpose. And hundreds of people come and, and sit and see how they do it, and they have a purpose. Otherwise, what is this? Terrabomba. Yeah, that's another scandalous show. Terrabomba was interesting because what we did is, every guy have a little space and do like a kiosk of his things, right? But Saturday, from 3 to 6, they perform in those simultaneously. So you go to the place and this perform, yes, and then you go to another, like a station. So you go to 23 stations. And people at 7 o'clock at night, they don't want to leave because it's so much fun. You can talk to the artist, you can perform with the artist, and then you go to the next one and you never get bored, which is one of the senior capitals scenes of performance art. It's fucking boring. Anyway. La tradición. We did the same thing, but with the artist studio. So we divide the exhibition space with the studio, and artists were delighted because they are exhibitionists anyway. So people come and see them painting. It's wonderful, and we have a bar, coffee, cappuccino, this and that, muchacho, beer, woo. And that's the fun part. This is Korean. Oh, Kim, she's a friend. She's a Korean curator. This one, I make friends, connection with Koreans, and we have a lot of fun. These are the Russians, collective. We complain, and this guy had to do exhibition in their apartments, man, because it was illegal for them in Russia, for real. So Joseph Bakin, she's very important now in Russia. They have a museum and everything. This was about posters. It's good that I've seen this because I'm reviewing why all this. I'm writing the introduction. We are going to have a book of 30 years of exit art, so I'm writing the whole thing. Wild. You see, just wild artists. Not wild art. Let me see. No wild. Yeah. And very well made. It's very well made. It's very crafty, this thing. He put this in. No. It's the proportions and everything is very important. Anyway. Transmission. There is, this was a success and a failure because I said I'm going to put the curators in the grinders. So what I said, I want you to do a piece for me as a curator, and I show it. So you have some of them very good, some of them very bad. Like all these are not artists, are curators. And was very Barbara London, mira, still is in MoMA, eh? Wow, she's like 100 years old in MoMA. And this guy worked with a private gallery now. All these guys, we're friends. What are you gonna do? Pass. Let's go. One more. Modus operandi. Yes, these are group shows of a specific purpose. You can go to the archive. All this archive is in 2000. All this archive is in NYU archive, which we consider one of the great archives of the country. So for your information, it's very, very well run. That and one in California, I remember one. Oh, this was the first show that was done for this, about the genetic revolution. Was really incredible because we put scientists and artists to work together. We even have the first scale model that they did, the scientists for the DNA. The things that you see, this is DNA. We have the first plastic thing that they did. It was amazing. Because, we trend to other things that are beyond the art world in many ways. This was, we put this for two reasons, and I see it now. You have to learn how to play ball with the collector and the board people. You don't play ball with these guys, forget it, you're done. So I said, I'm going to give you a little break, collector's choice. Muchachos, there were like 50 there. Yeah, I choose this. Oh, yeah, you look good. Oh, I'm a good eye. All these things, but you do it for the fun of it and the funding. Because remember, you have to combine both things. If you go to a place, even a good project, and you don't have funding, forget it. Never going to happen. Hey, collectors, America. Cambodia and the East, wow, this was brutal. This exhibition was, all these people grew up in the communist Eastern European thing, Yugoslavia, Romania, and I seen one of the most radical performances, this guy from Yugoslavia, good looking guy, handsome. And he said, well, my performance, bring me a bottle of vodka and a bottle of whiskey. Yeah. And he sit down with 2 bottles and then put some reggae music on, Buffalo Soldier or whatever, reggae. And he starts putting these things, and he drinks half the bottle of each thing in less than 15 minutes. Everybody was scared. That's the performance? No. The performance was that after an hour, everything said and done, they have like a conference. Like, oh, we did the show because... So he collapsed right there in front of them, just with an attack, with like the alcohol. And we had to call the ambulance, but when you call the ambulance, you call the fireman department and the police department. So in less than 10 minutes, we had the police, the fire department, and the ambulance picking up the guy. And that was the end of the show. That was his performance. That kind of radically, and I have a guy who, for performance, he drugs. These Eastern Europeans are out of there, because they grew up with the repression, the communist repression. They're really wild. They're really lovely also. That's what you do. You want to meet people, and it was my thing of LP, because this is like the CD-ROM. These are disappearing because these have art, a lot of art, HLP. And it was very beautiful because not only the artists who did this, came the musician, the producer, the singer of the LP. So you go again with a collective show that is visual. We go beyond the so-called visual into other people that are related to, and was really amazing. We present a lot of people collect those things now, like artists, and oh, this is very important. Reaction. This was when 9/11, and I started thinking about a collective piece because it was very collective. So what we came out with, we are going to accept an 8x10 statement. Can be a statement, can be an image, can be a poem, can be anything. And we said maybe we receive 300 things. We received 3,800 of this from children of the 3rd grade that saw in New Jersey that saw these things and give a description of the thing, to important artists like Aconchi or other people, So we mix it together. We put it in abecedario, from A to C, to make no importance on everybody. Anything, just you go through and you read all the 3,001, and then, like in 2 weeks after we put the show, I went to the gallery and said, these 2 guys, wow, these 2 guys look like FBI or something. They really don't fit here. What's going on? They were working for the Library of Congress. and they want to buy the exhibition. So, wow. And they bought it. The board was like, oh, wow, you see, give me more money. You see, when you do things like this, and because that's why they are in the board. They want to be in the board where the place to score in the cake. Otherwise, what I'm putting my money on. If you're a rich guy and they ask you for money, you have to have a purpose or have to be genial. Otherwise, for what? I'm going to throw out my money. Because they then go to their cocktails and parties and everything. You see, Exeter the thing was, that board is so much, yeah. It's good for business. That's the business of the non-profit is this, prestige. If they see you that you are in the New York Times and the critics say, give him more money. And they call you, sometimes they call you. You want more money? I have this guy, I don't want to say the name, and this was wonderful. I really enjoyed. Because what happened is that we did show that had to do everything with visual arts and nothing with visual arts. Because what I feel is that the art world had bureaucrats so much that they are not seeing other things. For example, theater and actors are visual arts. You see them, you're always looking at actors. They must have something visual, attractive, that's why they are there. So they are visual artists. I mean, let's go to the syntaxis. We deal with the visuality. So what I did, I've been, in the last 30 years, I love all these guys. I've seen all these pieces. And I invite them to take a section of the gallery and create their own environment as artists. They were delighted because no one offered them. A lot of actors, a lot of things. And I tell you, and this is Peter Schumann. And Peter Schumann is a mythological figure already. He has a farm in Vermont, and he did gigantic puppeteers that are wonderful. But he also, in the exhibition, in every place he goes, he cooked bread. So he was doing bread on the gallery. He's a wonderful. All these Marilyn Monk is a great musician. These are very known people, Robert Wilson. All these things I think is very important for future artists or students to know, and because they are New York characters. And I feel like all this is it's not there. Anyway, that's another story. We can discuss with other teachers or maybe the head of the department or the head of the school, because I'm not very pleased. Anyway, go ahead. Let's go. So this was bought by these FBA agents. I was delighted for the first time. Oh, the Biennale de Reconstruction, yeah. So we did a reconstruction, but we did it because the metaphor of reconstruction, young artists, mostly your age now, at that time. So what we did, I did say, listen, let's begin with the empty room. I just want you and the material that you're going to use for the show here. And when the people come to the opening, you explain them what you're going to do. So they are curious to come back again to see the piece. See, it's two kinds of discourse. The discourse that I want to do this with 4 chairs. Oh, yeah, but I want to see this. Wait till the next week. And then you have to come back next week until they finish the piece. So you have, as a public, as an artist, you have a dialogue of creativity with the public. The artists love it, the people love it, and the critics love it. This is one of the best shows. I got the New York Times, but anyway. Woo. That's it. We did more in that year, no? Go ahead. We did more. El Facto. Ooh. You see, a little cash again. Said, okay, I want to do a Latino show because I'm Latino, because the country obviously secretly is bilingual. Nobody talks about this, but it is bilingual. And you can do a piece, but you have to do a piece related to a Latino hero. Take your hero, Jennifer, whatever, but do a portrait. But that was the linking thing. So people don't only talk about your work, but talk about your work in relation to pop culture and into relation to heroes. So your work is multiplied. And people will see you work with more attachment. And it works. It works. Okay. That's it. Yes. 24. Terror vision. We do this in terrorism was very successful because a lot of these people are not from this country and they feel was really too much. It's very painful, that one. What's this? Video. Yeah, and we did one on the presidency. You see, this was amazing because this is made of this material of clay. And what happened with the clay when it dries, it cracks. Little by little, you see the cracking. So you have this culture of Washington that's amazing, very well done, and suddenly you see that it's cracking. So the metaphor is very beautiful and very subtle, but very beautiful. It seems like that there were like 20 pieces related to that, to the job of the president. We do print. We do to survive. We did a portfolio print every year. And we sell it to museums. This is one of the prints. I always do the cover because the cover is the one who embraces everything. Yeah, David. Let me see. No. Let me see who. Yeah. There are more people, but these are the known ones that do a piece. Okay. So we did this piece of other Americans, mostly on the sides of breaking the mold, of being a migrant, being a refugee, being, what we are made of. We are made of those guys. Some of them, and it was a praying project in the window, so we did how, again, another performance thing, like the oracle, but how artists pray. And the amazing things were like, this guy do the Kama Sutra. This was on the window. We have 11 windows like this. And we have this group of theater that was crying for 2 hours in front of you. These 5 people just crying. And you can see them was really strong. I mean, through the windows, no? Go ahead. And we prepare holiday windows, the usual. Go ahead. In the next year, no? Next year, I want to finish. Oh, this was great. This guy do this, and you had to run the car with bicycle thing because it was about the environment. And this was water. This was on the time also, a studio visit. We did this show. This cassette were like 20 of these cassettes, little kiosks, and then you can see videos of all these artist studios. Nowadays everybody's doing that, but this was on the 90s, and how they work and how they do. And then we do the drop, which was a study of water, and there is always a subject matter. And wild girls were really wild then. We did that night, again with the same format of simultaneously performance, and it really works because you always have option of going to the performance at the same time. And that is very, very, very strong. We need another cover actor, this time Latino, because it's a big tradition. We did this on the window, neon art. This is about playing, about pieces that people had to play. This is the window, this is for Christmas. We do the Renegades, which was the real Renegades from the performance arena. For us, our opinion. The building show was about the building. And you remember that guy that lived in a cabin in Utah or something, who was the bomb thing? The bomb guy who sent things in bomb? How do they call it? Yeah. This guy made an exact replica of the shack. People come to see the show just to see because it was on the news then. It is the exact replica. It's amazing. That was one of the buildings on the building show. There was a Cuban artist show that I wanted to do for a long time because of the repression, etc. This was, these girls are called the SWASI, the South Asian Women Creative Collective, and I have it in my heart anyway. These are electric lab, again, about how electricity works, and there were pieces of electricity related to, this is very good show, very sad show, investigate how the sexuality on soldiers and works, because there you have 5,000 guys in their 20s, alone, in a desert. Hello, where is the sexuality? So investigate all these obscure scenes that at the end is a study of war. You know how, and then you read like guy like Alexander the Great, and he had 5 assistants, but you don't know why. Maybe for other things. Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is, como you say, vox populi. Everybody knows. Everybody knows when to know. Yeah. And we have, what's this? This was the brainwave. Yeah. We did another search of how the brain works, etc., and was really, all these are big shows. I'm just going through them because these are individual shows we want to do. This one of the curators, young curators, we put a couple of young curators to do pieces, curate, because we just want to give break to other people. And so these are the, you see, this is what happens when you are a young curator, because you are a young curator. Mixtape Volume 1, Get Smart Edition. It's a nice title, but don't do anything, don't have any purpose. It's that you are putting all these guys into mixtape. What's mixtape? See what I mean? There is no thread that put you together. You're putting a bunch of artists that you think are interesting, but you don't put this. I'm putting a bunch of artists I think they are interesting, instead of putting this funny show. Anyway, go ahead. Well, this is a very important, Nell Beer is the guy who have this program on TV, law, and they have a big TV program. And he was on the board of ours. But he also have a whole institution on Africa, and this photograph are for kids. He give like 20 cameras in the town to kids, and the kids took the photographs. And we have the exhibition of the photograph that the kid took in that town. And so it was very interesting, you know, that concept of the show, and the images, as you see, were wonderful. And these kids no more than 20 years old. And this is my lefty part. These are, again, historical, presenting posters and photographs of the left of the 80s and 90s. And then I did this labyrinth thing in which each artist have a piece of the labyrinth, and you go through the labyrinth, and then you see the artist. It's another way to put a collective in one unit. It's collective, it's individual. The labyrinth is collective, and the images are individual. This was Boyana Rosa. We did a program called Incubators. He just they make it a PhD now, and she's doing well. She's from Eastern Europe, Russia, I think. Vertical garden. We did a program called EPA, Environmental, Social and Environmental Aesthetic. And I think it's still valuable, that concept, because we feel like the social and the environment have changing our aesthetic. And a simple idea, but it's a lot to cook with that idea. I won't do it personally anymore, but it's a lot to cook out of this environment. I also did a show in Negritude because I'm an expert on the group of Negritude. I have my pieces. You see, I have 25. Go ahead. I have 25 pseudonames. So I do my pieces, and I have some nice reviews from the New York Times from my name that don't exist. Go ahead. It's very important. This was the environmental, the cook, and this is Galindo, this performance artist from Guatemala. Again, you know, I want to show people who are really good, that are underrated or unknown in this country, and that is excellent. This is part of the environmental and aesthetic thing. Go ahead. This is just, yeah, it's about ecology, new mirrors. This was my show, yeah. How the national had to relate with the global and vice versa. And it's very important, this situation, because everyone talk about international artists and global artists. You have to be local to be national, and you have to be national to be global. Otherwise, you are not born in, I don't know. It's just logic. I'm not talking anything but the logic, you know. And this is our photography of the glaciers and the environment that are, you know. Museum. We did this show we don't have any more. So finally, and it became a book. It's published by MIT, The History of Alternative Spaces. And we want to do this show for a long time because whoever do the document is whoever is doing the history. And we as an artist are history freaks because we are dealing with our immortality, meaning what we live after we're gone. So we are preparing 3 years this exhibition. All the space in 1940 to now was very successful. As you see, MIT is, these are other programs of kids that I love to do. This is another graphic, again, comics and fracking. You know, this is a big problem, fracking. There is something very important on your work that is related to your life, and this is very interesting in the way of one of my last abstract shows of geometry. because I feel like everything is geometrical in life. You go to an elevator, you go to a cube. We are really in a cube. This is a rectangle. The other is a rectangle. This is everywhere. So I want to have this metaphor of painting and life. And that's why I did. It's a beautiful show. And this is too depressing, but it's very beautiful in a way, contemporary slavery. And I did a painting club. It was really interesting because what we did is we choose 3 artists, right, like you now, the one is painting. And then we have it in the back of the theater, we have a little theater, and we have complete silence, complete black space, and just one spot on the painting. And then we leave it there for 2 minutes so you can see like a theater and see the painting for 2 minutes. And we take the paintings out and we put another one. You know why? And it happens to you all the time. You go to an opening and say, oh, this is nice painting. You never look at the painting. You never look at the painting for half a minute. If you look, right? I'm right or not? Tell me. So this, you have to be there, pop, and look it for 2 minutes. And then you look at painting. Rico was one of my last shows. Friend, good artist, underrated also. But then we put, business model for sustainable future. Hey, you have to yin and yang, the both. The poor and the rich. That's it. I had to fix it last year. Let me see. Our collective performative. This was a show of the 30 years. I don't do this show. I prefer other curators do it because it was too emotional for me. Yeah, too emotional for me, and I want to turn the page out of my life and go to another place. Any question? Yeah.
Thank you for coming, by the way. What do you see as sort of like some of the kind of strengths and weaknesses of art today, or like art in New York? I mean, you've seen a lot of art over 30 years or more. What do you have some qualms with, or what do you like that's out there right now?
How things goes are inevitable. There are more people, there are more artists, there are more galleries, but at the end of the day, it's the same story. There are always 15 top galleries who cut the cake, and there are 10 countries who cut the cake. That is the reality of it. There are really very few. I have a phrase, good art is an accident, and great art is a miracle. So you better are in the miracle side, because if we maintain ourselves for so many years and have a family and live like normal people, it's a miracle, because we don't have that sensibility. The art world is basically you have a patron. Basically, you have people who sponsor you. I've been there for the last 500 years and won't be different. You don't have people who support you and buy you stuff. You don't have people in the other world that support you and buy you stuff. That's simple. If you want to live in a big city, if you want to be in a small city, it's not. I know artists who retire in Nicaragua with $1,800 a month. They have a little boat, they have a shack, they even have a servant and have the motorcycle, and they live like king in Nicaragua. Good. And they do their art. That's great. But if you want to be here, you have to be a trickster. Otherwise, you are doomed. I'm being honest, how I feel. And all artists with experience knows this. You have to have, the old thing of the sugar daddy is true. It's really true. I'm looking for new sugar daddies because all my sugar daddies are all dead. Yeah, they're 60, I'm 66, papi. So no, go, let's go to retire to correct go. Oh man, forget it. You know? It's true. It's all my friends, one of who they retire, and then They're having a good time. And why they want to bother with this, you know? Because it's a bother. I can be in the rainforest. I have a place in the rainforest, which is amazing. But I said, after 2 weeks, I'm bored. From my porch to the beach is 4 minutes, 3.5.
Kind of a continuation of this question. And what are the changes that you observe, if any?
The changes is population, also is fashion. Art is more in fashion. Art is more in the mouth of more people. And it's good and it's bad. But every time have its own, 80 have its own purpose, 90. I think when you grow older, you figure out and you understand that every decade have its own mini story. And it's different for everybody. But in the art world, I've seen this, a population from, like this show of the gallery people that I did, the gallery show. I had to see 100 artists, 100 galleries now to do the show. Before I had to see 20. And this is burst in some way. Will burst in some way because I remember the Soho Alley on the internet. And I have friends who put businesses and everything in the internet. And the bubble bursts and you have 75% dead. Because the most easy thing is to put a gallery. You know why? You put any business, cloth, you have to do money up front and buy the merchandise and buy and sell the merchandise. If you have a gallery, you don't have to do. You have the artist who bring the piece and put it there and you can sell it. You don't have to give any money. That's why it's so easy. You have to have a little office, a desk with a person there taking the thing, and you put a gallery. Try to do this in retail. Not possible. It's the only retail that you don't have to put money to put the merchandise.
Could you imagine exit boards starting today?
Not for me, because what happened next is there was a lot of love and a lot of magic. These two persons met each other, for madly in love with them, and they can live 24/7 for 30 years. You can do that, then you can have exit art. It's about the love that we have and the admiration for each other. And we give that to artists, and artists feel that. And then become this magic that the other galleries, how can you do this? It's just a combination of things. Nothing is the same, it's a combination. And usually, for putting these kind of places, and I tell you, my friendship with Martha Tucker, and Alana Hines, which is a friend, and she's the founder of PS1, and you know, right, who was Alana Hines? This is part of history. He was the founder of PS1 for 30 years. You have to have an incredible partners to do this, an incredible board. The first time I asked to artists who want to put a space, you have to have a purpose and you have to have a board. If you don't have these two people that believe completely what you do and have a little money, and you can begin. And purpose. You cannot be a curator, abstract show, figurative show. No. Give me a reason. And you know why? You know what I ask the future curators when they come and want to do a show? Send me something that you have written of a show. 90%, don't pass it. That's simple law. Because if you cannot write what you do a show, you don't have the right to show it. And it's, any question? Ask a question. I'm getting hot. Yeah.
What's your next step?
I'm going to put Pangea, the art house, Trickster Theater Pangea, but profit this time. I want to do a scale of what is a studio and the relationship of studio and music and theater. I love a lot of musicians and actors, and I want to mix it up at the end. The next 10 years, then we'll see. They will see, because I also have a wonderful place on the rainforest, and I don't know. All depends. You know what? A friend of mine asked me, what makes you happy? Very simple, I answer. Being in love. Romance is the only thing that makes me happy. Because I know that you have that power, you are happy, you are in love, you can do anything. I know. It's the art of love. If you don't know how to love, how you can love other people in other ways. And that's what I did with all these artists. They love me. I love them. If you give, you take what you plant, and you plant this incredible love and passion will go back to you and involve you in the whole thing. This business is the only business I know is about love. People give you money because they love your work and they love you, who you are, what you mean, and what you do. I seen a collector say, I don't like this artist. He don't buy anything from him. And it can be a worse artist than the next one that he liked that much, but this less artist, but he buy the other one. Because you want to have things in your house for people that you love. It makes sense. It's just human. You don't want to have a painting of people you like, you don't like, or you hate. You're going to live with this person. You're going to live with this guy. You're going to see him every day. Eh? You never think about that. Imagine you make an object, you make something, and these people have it in their intimacy in their house. They have you. And they pay for it, which is the good part. And you spend that money. Not wonderful concept? So that's why it's about love. You have to love this piece to have it. Tell me. This is Pangea. I want to take advantage of the great musicians and the great multicultural culture that we are cooking here, especially in this city. It's maybe the most multicultural city in the world. And you can see it right now. You go down and go 7th Avenue, this Japanese beautiful woman with a really handsome black man. You say, wow, what a beautiful couple. And you see it in the city. You don't see this in Barcelona, and this cuchi-cuchi, you see this in New York City. But more love than one. It's about love. The city is about love because it's the only way that we can be together, so many millions of people, and don't kill each other. Muchachos are now artists. Now are millions of artists. Man! They are everywhere. What are you going to do with them? Yeah, well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You may have already answered this, I apologize for being late, but what's the difference between a commercial gallery and a non-for-profit gallery?
Well, the commercial gallery, our bottom line is to sell. For us, it's the concept, it's the idea, it's the importance that this idea can have within the culture. The commercial gallery, you can be a criminal and painting whatever you're painting and they sell it, they don't care. They don't care if you study, don't this. They're telling that people fall in love with your work.
So it's a philosophy.
Yeah, it's philosophy and it's purpose, it's many other things because then you have the freedom to go to any collector and say, ugh, and you can trick them. Like I have this guy, right? And he gave me like $250,000 in less than 2 years. I said, this is coming heavy something. Exactly. He came down, he wanted to show off his collection on the exhibit. First, I won't do that. And second, that's corruption. And third, I don't want to use the tax money, payer money, to do your individual show. You are inviting me because he gave me that first. I can do that as a non-profit. In a commercial gallery, if he spends $500,000 or $1 million in my gallery, I said, I want you to show this artist, you are going to show the artist. Even if you don't like it. So Just imagine that position. You are a gallery owner and you deal maybe $30, $40 million a year. And this guy buy you $2 million a year and said, I want this artist here. And that's how you do it. Some people do it like that. It's about social milieu, you know, like, let's put it this way. You're a rich girl, you grow up in the Hamptons, the best schools, have the best friends, graduate, but you're bored. You don't want to put a boutique of clothes because you're too superficial. So you put a gallery because it's prestigious. But it's a great business because that means that you have 20 people who are as rich as you, who are not into the arts, right? But have two houses, one in the Hamptons and one in the... They need to furnish this house. They need to put nice paintings, plus they are a good investment. So while you go to my friend Miriam, she's have a gallery, let's go. Or she called, I have painting for you for your new house. This is how it works, basically. Part of it, and then you have the other stuff. There are really no more than 50 collectors in the whole planet. More or less, it's the law of there are other kind of minor collectors and minor people that work by here and there, but basically it's the 1% of the 1%. And we are the majority. So we had to catch that thing of 1%. I think that the School of Art should show more history and life and how this really works, because they are selling you something that is not there. Like the actors, how many thousands of actors are needed? I put a thing on backstage and I have 100 actors tomorrow making a line for the piece. But how many people are making really money with the actors? And they're good actors, eh? I mean, Shakespeareans, really good actors with incredible memory and amazing things. If you make it, guys, I will congratulate it heavily, but remember, there are other things to do. I have friends who are making a lot of money in advertising. They were video artists. There is no, and another, this girl, she's very good. She's working on a TV program now. She's very happy. A commercial TV program. Yeah, I'm making $60,000 a year. She's happy. At the end of the road, it's how happy you are. Poor, rich, famous, unfamous, whatever, it's about happiness. And there are two things, love and health. You have these two things, you have 75% of it, at least. That's my experience in life. Life is always more important. Because fame and knowing come even by chance, I think. Or by destiny. But at my age, after 50, after 40, you begin thinking, wow, I'm an artist, and I'm a good artist, I'm not good artist. That's the crisis of the 40s. And then you begin to realize that at the end, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be gone. And it's the happiness that you can have now. Full. I give any of my wonderful moments, like I was invited now to the Guggenheim to talk, or the Boston, nothing that made me happy that I have my great love, or I love walking on the beach of my place, bare hands on the beach. That made me happy. That made me more happy than anything. So at the end is the happiness and the moments that you take with your life, what will make the pieces. This is not a profession. It's not like an accountant. You will have this all your life, because you have these demons inside that you have to express. And that is the importance in the demons O demonio, muchacho. Anyway, some more questions? Yeah, I think that teachers should.
Thank you.
Okay.